We're going to do an insight video today. Just going to talk about. I've been talking a lot about diamond consciousness and the union of the soul and the union of the higher self, but a lot of things that are going on at the moment around frequencies as well. It's about raising frequencies, it's about raising vibrations, it's about raising consciousness, it's about opening the keys of consciousness to the soul, the keys of consciousness to the keys of consciousness, and opening up the higher self to becoming this sort of like flowing channel of source energy, this flowing channel of oneness vibration, oneness frequency, and when doing this, we open ourselves up to become these channels. Where once again we're connected with the infinite beings of the universe, the infinite realms, the dimensions, the universal teachers. There's so many frequencies that are happening, that are existing, that are vibrating currently, to bring change to this planet, to bring change to each of us as spiritual beings, to awaken us, to bring us into awareness, to bring us back into union. There's many dimensions, many different realities, many different frequencies that are all vibrating in oneness consciousness to bring us back into union. And this is the purpose of the soul. The soul awakens to this key of consciousness, that it's connected, it's unified, that it's part of a whole, that it's part of this one frequency, this one vibration, which is all source like creation. And this is what this time's about. Again, I've been given a staff again this morning, and I keep seeing this blue sort of like diamond energy that goes around from the top of my head. It comes around and it goes down, and I keep seeing blue at the moment. So the blue is very much symbolic of divine intelligence, divine consciousness, divine awareness, and it connects to the ascending master of Almora, which is very much around sort of again bringing this union, this consciousness, this understanding, this awareness, that this flow of this oneness consciousness of the eternal moment is vibrating in each and every one of us. And this also connects to what you call the I am presence. The I am presence is this understanding of this spiritual vibration, the spiritual frequency. The I am presence is the ability to be in the eternal moment, be in this eternal frequency, and have the understanding that the I am presence is a creative force. There's a vibration, there's a frequency to it, and it allows you once again to remain in the internal moment, because the I am presence is the awakening to this oneness vibration, this frequency, but also to the light and the energy of the frequency of the soul. That the soul is connected and unified with the higher self. It's connected to the oneness vibration. It's an open channel of vibrational frequency and energy, and the I am presence allows you to know that you can create and manifest, and you create and manifest by being in the eternal moment. This is what I feel, when someone like Eckhart Tolle talks about the power of now. The power of now is being in a vibration, a frequency. And each and every one of us has the ability to be in that frequency, to be in that energy, that vibration, and to sort of like vibrate in it, and sort of shift and change all things. Yesterday I was directed to Saint Germain, and I was directed to sort of listening to some sort of vibrational sort of like sort of Hertz music yesterday, and it's very much around dissolving, releasing, and this is what we're going through. We're being sort of like purified, we're being sort of opened to this new energy flow, this new stream of consciousness, this new stream of vibrations and frequencies that are coming to the planet. Again, the staff is given as a guide, as a guidance. The staff is also sort of, it brings energy, it brings new energy, like higher energy, but it also brings sort of like, it's like guidance, and the staff is sort of like, it brings wisdom. It's like the teachers and the old sages and sort of like wise teachers always had staffs, and they sort of like, the staff was like a symbol of wisdom, of understanding, and I feel like when it's given in that way, it's saying that the beings that are coming through are bringing great wisdom, great understanding, great sort of insight for this time. And again, it connects back into the universal law of correspondence, the universal law of inspired action, universal law of oneness, the universal law of vibration and frequency. And all of these connect straight into things like the universal law of rhythm, which is very much again around the cycles of growth, of consciousness, the cycle of growth of frequencies. All of them are bringing change. They're bringing change I also saw when I was connecting in yesterday, I saw like a golden figure of eight, a golden eight figure, which is very much symbolic in like in numerology. It's like the eternal number. It's the eternal flow of the universe. It's the eternal flow. So it's like everything is in this perfect sort of like circle that goes in the circle of eight, which is creation, which is eternity. Again, it's a symbolic of the like this eternal moment, this eternal frequency that each and every one of us are in. I feel like as I'm connecting into these vibrations, these frequencies are starting to express themselves, and they're starting to create and manifest. And again, this connects to the universal law of attraction, which is very much around sort of the soul again is expressing itself in this consciousness, this conscious state and space. And then what it's doing is it's unifying with this higher self, which is once again, and the higher self seems to appear to me at the moment. I've said like I've seen like gold and yellow, but I'm also seeing like white. It's like dressed at this being, or this sort of like sense of my higher self comes forward. It's dressed in white. It's got long white hair, beautiful piercing blue eyes, and a long white beard. Again, this is about sort of like when you see white and you see these kind of things. Again, it for me it's like the eternal truth. It's clarity. It brings sort of like higher energy, higher wisdom, higher understanding. All of it's about well, I say higher, but it's like you say the higher self, but the higher is symbolic of being open. It means it's open to the frequencies, it's open to the oneness. It's not, when we talk about in spirit world and we talk about spiritual energies and stuff like that, we talk about higher. It really it's more about sort of like open. It's infinite. That's what I want to say, because higher is not necessarily the word higher is human. It's like infinite, and again that's what the eight is. It's this infinite symbol, sorry, this infinite symbol. And as I'm starting to sort of like tune into this, infinite seems to be a very very sort of like reoccurring theme today. The infinite, the infinite opportunities, the infinite possibilities, the infinite frequencies. But again, that is a direct example of the oneness vibration and the union of the soul with the higher self, which creates this open channel, this universal channel. And again, this is what happened in the time of Atlantis, that there was like a stellar, when they talk about like the 12 chakras, they talk about the stellar gateway. And the stellar gateway is the opening of the higher sort of like energy centers, where we're once again unified, with these infinite sort of realities, these infinite dimensions. And again, this is what happened in Atlantis. This is what happened in Lemuria. They were open to this stellar gateway, which is like the open sort of like source energy, sort of like an open channel to the many different dimensions, the many different realities. And then this is where like the multi-dimensional being sort of like concept comes from as well, where you're like integrated with all these different sort of conscious streams of these many different realities, these many different sort of beings, that are sort of like streaming consciousness to us as spiritual beings. So we can start to then once again shift and change our reality, shift and change our consciousness, unify and open the soul up to receive the vibrations and the frequencies that are needed for this age, as they were in that time of Atlantis and Lemuria. And it's very much connects to that, and it's very much connects to that at this time, is that we're all becoming these open channels. It's like we're all starting to once again tune in to different frequencies, to once again to open up our channels, to once again express consciousness in a more sort of in a more different way, in a more vision, in a more different reality, to bring change to this planet and to the frequency of this planet, and once again to bring it back into that oneness vibration, because everything is about that. Also, the circle of eight, I feel like is symbolic. So like it just goes into this natural circle, and the natural circle of the eight is the constant flow of the universe. That like it's a direct example of the oneness vibration. It goes like this, and it's this golden sort of infinity like symbol of the eight. The eternal sort of like creation, the eternal loop of creation, and the eternal loop of vibration, frequency, and the oneness vibration, that all things are constantly flowing, and constantly like this constantly consciousness and energy flowing into into our energy fields, into the planet, and it's constantly sort of like going in this circle loop. So we're connected. Everything is interconnected. Everything is part of the same whole, and this is what this time's about, and this is what these moments are about. And the eternal moment is so important in that way, because the eternal moment allows us to know that we are infinite, and we have the opportunity to create and manifest, but we also have the consciousness to express, to create vision and change in this moment, in this time. And this is what they did again in these spiritual cultures before. They were connected to the infinite beings of different realities and light. Like I said, this stellar gateway was open up. People were sort of like streaming consciousness, like not people, individuals, spiritual beings were streaming consciousness from many different realities, and then they were applying it to a vision of reality that allowed the planet to shift and change. And this is again, when you talk about, like I talk about the union, or like the diamond consciousness, and this concept of heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is this concept, or like Garden of Eden. All these kind of like sort of terms that they throw around, like are symbolic of the spiritual age, where things are in harmony, they're in balance, they're in peace, they're in union with all beings, and you become one collective consciousness of oneness vibration for all realities, all beings. And this is what happening at the moment. These energy frequencies, this stream of consciousness, and the energy channels of each and every one of us as beings are opening up to receive this higher awareness, this higher frequencies at the moment. And this is what the oneness vibration is all about: is bringing everything back into union, everything back into balance. And like I say about diamond consciousness, and I talk about universal laws, they're all part of it. They're all reflections of the oneness vibration of source creation, and each and every one of us are starting to once again become aligned with that. And when we become aligned with that, we live our lives in a more sort of a harmonious way, in a more oneness consciousness, and we're more open channels again to receive these insights from these infinite beings. And again, this I talk about the stellar gateway. Stellar gateway is this concept of an open source channel that receives information from the infinite beings, universal teachers, guides, the other frequencies of other beings living in different realities, living in different consciousnesses. And the stellar gateway is like this open sort of like source of like funnel that sort of like streams the energy down, and the higher self then sort of like receives it, and then it sort of like then between the soul and the higher self, this union is created, this perfect union, and the higher self then sort of like releases the consciousness, and the soul integrates it to express it and create a different way of being, a different state of being. And this is what this time's about. And each and every one of us are a light, a beacon, that are sort of like are expressing that. And the more we open up, and we more that we divide, we create that union between the soul and the higher self. And the more we open up our channel, the more we become aligned with the infinite beings of consciousness, of oneness, and of source creation. And this is what this time's about, and that's the insight for today.